Hi Capricorn, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your September 2022 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's a Celtic crossbreed as always, and also pulled the 4 agreements, Wisdom of the Oracle, and Mudra card for you guys. But we're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus should be as far as that goes. Alright. So we have Leo, and Leo energy for you guys is your 8th house of death, rebirth, intimacy, investments. And we're pretty much just wrapping up Leo season at the time I'm recording this. We have Venus, and in September, Venus is actually going to be wrapping up a transit through Leo and moving into Virgo. So again, we see that 8th house energy for you guys moving into 9th house. And we have 7, so 7th house energy for you guys is Cancer energy. Astrologically speaking, there's not really going to be anything going on there, but could just be some focus on your partnerships this month too. Alright, so falling out of the way, we'll get started with the main spread. In the main situation position, we have the Tower, and challenging that, we have the Page of Cups. So seeing these two things here, I feel like this is saying that you guys might have experienced an ending. For a lot of you, I feel like this is something that already happened. And possibly even during the Aquarius full moon that we had recently, because that was kind of a volatile energy there. And with the Page of Cups in the challenge or obstacle position, I feel like this is saying that either you might have extended an apology to, or you will, rather, for September, extend an apology to this person who you had the falling out with, or they will extend one to you, but I feel like it won't necessarily be received right. So I do feel like the intention behind the apology might be pure, but it just might not come across too clearly, which does remind me that there will be a Mercury retrograde in September, so just be on the lookout for that. Maybe there could be some crossed wires of communication there. Alright, in the foundation position, we have the 6 of Cups and the 2 of Pentacles. So this is actually a Capricorn energy here, and this is Scorpio energy. So seeing these two cards come up, I feel like this is saying that for a lot of you, it actually might be someone coming to you to make an apology, and you might be on the fence as to whether or not you want to reconnect with this person. And with the 6 of Cups energy, that often points to a reconciliation of some kind. And then with that 2 of Pentacles, we see the undecided, unsure energy, right? So that's what I see going together with that. And now, to be fair, for some of you, could just be the other way around too, saying that you might be on the fence as to whether or not you want to extend an olive branch to someone. So I could see it going either way, but it seems like for more of you, it would be someone coming toward you with an apology. Alright, past energy, we have the 10 of Swords, Gemini energy, and the 5 of Pentacles, Taurus energy. So for some of you, there could have been an ending around your work lives, actually, and might have caused some financial difficulty for a bit. Maybe this even could have happened during Gemini season for some of you as well, where there could have been an ending there, because of course the last time we had a Mercury retrograde was during with the Gemini energy. Now it's going to be starting in Libra, moving into Virgo. So the last one went from Gemini into Taurus. So could just be pointing to that timeline, saying that you might have gone through an ending around that time, and there could have been some financial difficulty as a result of that. In the present position, we have quite a few cards that came up. We have the Page of Pentacles, the 6 of Swords, the 10 of Pentacles, and the Knight of Swords. So yeah, for some of you, I feel like this is pointing to you guys potentially switching a job. Maybe one where you might have felt like they always kept a goal of yours out of reach, right? So if we look at that Pentacle, it looks like it's not fully in his possession, right? So it could just be one of those things where you might have felt like every time they'd set a goal for you, they might move the goalpost, right, when you achieved that goal. So you might have just felt like you were constantly, being promised let's say a pay raise or promotion, right? But it never would actually happen. And for some of you, because of that, you might decide to leave that behind and move towards something that you see a more lucrative future in, and taking action toward that. And given that This is Gemini energy, which points to your sixth house. That's why for a lot of you, I do feel like it is work related, but obviously we see just quite a bit of pentacle energy in general. This is your second house energy with Aquarius, so definitely seems to be financially related in some way regardless, but for a lot of you it seems like shifting from one job to another. Alright, in the near future position we have the Knight of Pentacles. So already we see some growth there, right? If you were in the page position, for example, now we see the Knight, right? And if we look at that Pentacle now, it is fully in their possession. So it could be one of those things where you might have just felt like it was long overdue, right? So maybe you were just looking for a new opportunity for a while. So like I said, let's say maybe that was in Gemini season when you guys might have left one job behind and now you might finally be reconnecting with one in Virgo season. So understandable if you feel like it was a long time coming as far as that goes. And maybe for some of you, it's still within the same job too, right? So maybe this is that long-awaited bonus and raise that they kept promising. You might finally see it come through for you in Virgo season. And if this is around, like I said, an apology with a falling out as well, this could be either you or the other person coming forward with a stable, tangible offer, right? So with the Page of Cups, we see the fish still in the cup, which seems like a rushed offer, right? Not necessarily thought through and really paying attention to detail, whereas this one would definitely be more detail oriented. All right, the position of your influence in the situation, we have the Five of Swords, Aquarius energy, and Judgment. So I can see this going a couple different ways. One, I feel like this is saying just definitely be mindful around creating potentially bad karma this month. So let's say someone did do something to you in the past. Right now, you might feel like you have an opportunity to get back at them. I feel like this is saying with the Judgment card there, just be on the lookout for that, right? Because I feel like it's saying that karmically there could be some negative repercussions for that. Perhaps you know, this could just be saying that if there was some kind of falling out, that there would be an opportunity to actually fix that this month too. So like we said, it looks like there could have been some falling out with some kind of connection, possibly even a work-related one, and there might be an opportunity to revisit that situation and repair the situation. All right, in the environment position, we have the Ten of Wands. So this is Sagittarius energy here. Usually it's a pretty guarded energy, right? It's usually someone who's gone through a lot and doesn't necessarily see the opportunity for conditions to improve, right? So they're kind of expecting more of the same, more difficulty to come across. Now this is 12th house energy, so it could just be saying that, you know, it could just be more of a mental hurdle that you might have to overcome as far as always expecting the worst in the situation. But the external conditions could just be saying that there's improvement there, right? Obviously, with the Tower energy and the Ten of Swords, those are pretty intense energies. If we just look at the color contrast between those two, and then the cards in the present to the future, right? So it could just be saying that now the adjustment period would be for you guys to understand that, okay, yes, you might have been removed from a situation that was a bit detrimental for you guys, and now you're actually moving towards something beneficial. Even if it is the same situation, but just mending fences there. All right, in the hopes or fears position, we have the Four of Swords. So I'm going to assume for most of you, this is probably a hope. It's a Libra energy too. So yeah, for some of you, you could just be hoping for some healing around your career lives and just, you know, maybe a little bit less of a chaotic environment, right? Maybe you just need a break from work altogether. For those of you who this wasn't necessarily a job loss, but just constantly feeling like you're on the grind to achieve some goal. But yeah, this does remind me as well, like I was saying with that Mercury retrograde, it's going to start in Libra, which is your 10th house of career, and move into your 9th house of Virgo. So you might be seeing things from a different perspective this month as well. All right, and in the outcome position, we have the Two of Swords. So this is actually a Libra energy here. And it won't focus for some reason, but beyond that, I feel like this is saying that when we do close out the month, actually, when Libra season starts toward the end of September, you might still feel like you're undecided, right? So I feel like this is saying that you will be taking a bit of a different approach as far as I feel like you'll be trying to make the decision more based on logic, right? So If we look at the water and the moon in the background, those are the two symbols that point to emotions. We see the arms crossed over the heart. So it could just be one of those things where you might decide that you want to strictly make the decision based on logic, depending on what path you want to choose. But that's what I see with that. And bottom of the deck, we have the Emperor. So yeah, if this was around the work situation, right, maybe that was where there was a bit of a clash with you, and this could have been a boss, let's say, right, who always wanted things their way, and they'd make these promises about, oh, we'll give you a raise or a bonus, and then every time it was time for that, it never seemed to come through, right? So that could be the energy you guys have been dealing with, or some of you could be telling you to step into the energy for yourselves a little bit more, right, to demand more in the situation. All right, so moving on to your 4 agreements card, we have always do your best. And it says do your best because you want to. So it says you do your best when you are enjoying the action or doing it in a way that will not have negative repercussions for you. You do your best because you want to do it, not because you have to do it, not because you are trying to please the judge, and not because you are trying to please other people. So yeah, maybe that's saying as far as if it's more of an energetic blockage for you guys, that could be possibly what might help free things up for you, right? Where if you just actually just say, you know what, I'm gonna do the best I can and not necessarily always think about the next reward in mind, right, when I'm doing those things, but just put my best foot forward and actually just watch conditions around you improve in that situation. And like I said, especially if you guys have been through a difficult cycle in the past, it might be a little bit hard to adjust your mind in that way. But like we said, looking at the energies we see coming up, it does look like a lightening up the energy for sure. All right. Moving on to your Wisdom of the Oracle card, we have No Place Like Home. There's the artwork, and the number is 50. So let's see what that says. Okay, it says authenticity, coming home to yourself, feeling at home, arriving at a place where you just fit, being comfortable in your own skin. The Oracle's message: home feels safe and secure. It's a comfortable place to rest and create, a place that is known and you can call yours. This card signals that your ability to trust yourself and feel at home in your own skin is beginning to solidify as you claim your dignity and integrity, aspects of yourself no one can take away from you. You know who you are. You hold your head high, yet with neither pride nor humility. Instead, you stand as the observer, seeing through the eyes of your soul. This puts you in a position of power and strength. Authenticity is your home. You are safe here in the house of your spirit and spirit. So yeah, definitely a pretty positive message there, and it makes me think about what I was saying with the 9 of Wands energy there, right, where you could just be feeling a little bit guarded and feeling like, waiting for the next shoe to drop, basically, so it could just be one of those things where now you're adjusting to actually seeing the reality of conditions around you improve and trying to shed the thought that, okay, well, when's the next obstacle going to arrive, The relationship message says lovers, friends, and companion animals are at home in your life right now. You are in sync and full of love, and you can be secure in the knowledge that it is reciprocated. Relationships elicit a sense of emotional safety, comfort, and the best aspects of familiarity now. Be home in this relationship. Together you add to the love of the world. So yeah, definitely a pretty positive message there. Like I said, I didn't see a huge romantic connection vibe with this, although it's possible for some of you that could be what you're repairing. If so, it looks like the other person might be a bit guarded at the very least when you guys do reconnect, but it looks like there could be some improvement there as well. Okay, the prosperity message says when you act in an authentic way, you command the world to reflect back to you exactly what is in your highest good. Your business choices, the investments you make, and the creative projects you immerse yourself in are powerfully on point. Why? Because when you are fully yourself, radically accepting everything in your journey to date, both successes and failures, you will see the divinity in all things. Abundance is a natural progression when you experience this kind of authenticity. So yeah, reading that message there made me think of another thing with the 9 of Wands too, that I see when I look at the card sometimes, which is to say, when we look at him, he's holding on to that one wand, and he has those 8 wands behind him. So that makes me think of someone who, you know, they're only thinking about what they're currently dealing with and not necessarily realizing that, hey, all of that experience that they have behind them in their past has value, right? So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, you might be so focused on that one wand, but it's not that those experiences from your past are forgotten, right? They're still there, they still have value. So, like I said, for you guys, if you had gone through a difficult situation, and the situations do improve, you know, it's not so much about fearing that you're going to repeat that cycle again, but understanding that, hey, even those obstacles in the past help build to bring you to where you are today. All right, and lastly, we have a mudra for you guys. So this is your mudra here. It's the Trishula mudra, and the keyword for it is destruction. All right, and there's the info. If you want to pause it or take a screenshot to read what it has to say, but under benefits, it says removes obstacles on the spiritual path, serves as a spiritual weapon against ignorance, laziness, doubt, egoism, attachment, and aversion. So if that sounds like a mudra thing to be beneficial for you guys, we'll put the name of it in the description. But as always, we'll wrap up there, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.